there's a high drive in the deep right field. Going back, Tatis at the warning track, at the wall. Goodbye!
Deep to right field, ranging back Tatis, all the way to the wall.
Get into the gap. Is anybody there? No. There it comes. And the throw. Not in time. And this one is over.
I am completely exhausted. That game took almost 6 hours. A terrible blown save, multiple run delays, ejections. This game kind of reminded me of a game back in 1985, I think, between the Braves and the Mets that just kept on going, even though technically it only went 10 innings, but it definitely had that feel of a game that didn't want to end. Ejections in this game on a horrible call. We'll definitely look at that call where Mark Canha gets screwed, but Mark Canha himself got the big hit. What we thought was the big hit in the ninth turned out wasn't the game winner, but the Giants score 4 in the 10th and take it by the final of 9-5. It was an important game. The Giants really had to win it and win the series. I said it. Giants can win 3 out of 4, and I'll take it. The Giants have won 3 out of 4, and I'll take it. And we're going home to take on the Detroit Tigers. My goodness. Jason Corona Accounting Solutions. With a $9.99. Now that's how you're supposed to close. From now on, that's how you close. Taylor for closer. Yes, yes, yes. And you can check in the chat. I don't know if it's still there, but I said before Doval gave up that bomb, and I mean it, I would have taken him out. Because you can just tell visually he didn't have it. He was crazy. He was wild. He wasn't feeling it. He walked the first 2 guys. And even after the second out, I was like, let's just pull him. Let's put in Taylor. Let's get the third out and go home. Because it just didn't, the vibes were not there for Camilo Doval today. And he gives up the game-tying home run. Luckily, the Giants' bats came through, even though it was close. And they almost blew it in the 10th. The Giants had opportunities. They got the free runner. And it looked like they were going to strand multiple runners. But luckily, a couple of key hits and a fortunate blooper. And the Giants eventually get the win. If we would have lost this game, I would have been completely pissed off. And I'm really not feeling too good. Camilo Doval is a big problem. Obviously, he's good enough to be here, but is he good enough to be a closer? He walks. Speaking of Taylor Rogers has a much better walk rate. He also strikes out a lot of guys, but he just has much better control. He's got a much better ERA. In fact, Doval is the worst ERA in the bullpen. So Giants got to think about it. Giants have to, said it yesterday, and I'm saying it again today. We can't be losing games because of blown saves all the time. Brandy Runolfsen, what a waterlogged nightmare. Glad we won. 999 super chat. Thank you so much. We will definitely break it down. But before we get into it, the manager was ejected. And this guy, he will get ejected a lot more often than our previous manager, whether you like that or not. I mean, I don't particularly love when he gets ejected, but at the same time, sometimes it's, it got to be done. And this umpire blew an opportunity for the Giants. We might have not even had to go to, maybe we could have just won this game in the traditional sense if Mark Canha didn't get completely screwed on a pitch that was literally, nowhere even remotely close to the strike zone.
He's just kind of zeroing in on middle.
Look at where the catcher's glove is going to catch that baseball.
That one? Oh my goodness. Come on. That's not a strike. That's not close to a strike.
I'm wondering if this umpire understands. Maybe nobody has told the umpires. Maybe Major League umpires don't quite understand that when catchers catch the ball, they move the glove back to the zone. It's called framing. I don't know if they know that about baseball. I don't think they seem to know that. They seem to think that wherever the catcher's glove ends up is where the catcher caught the ball. They don't seem, their brains can't quite visualize this movement that goes from about 8 inches up here back down to here. They're not able to quite catch that. Quite unfortunate. Dave, Auburn Giants fan. Don't forget it was Doval that lost us the 2021 NLDS and the first place umpire. Didn't watch the game today. JDWHS. Doval cost us a game of NLDS in 2021. Never liked him since. Time for Robo Umps. I'm going to get a report card today. Lord Helmet to the umpire. What's with you, man? So anyway, Bob Melvin lets him know from the bench. I'm not a lip reader like John Boy, but we could see he's saying, let's go.
Oh, my God.
Let's go. Let's go. I don't know what he said there, but something like terrible.
Now, if you're throwing strikes, you're pumping strikes, you might get this call. But when you've been all over the place.
And I don't know if that's P. Santangelo. I don't even agree with that. You should never get that call. I don't care if you're pumping strikes. You should never get that call. Ever, ever, ever. Little league, major leagues, minor leagues, college. You should never get that call. That is nowhere remotely close. There, you can fit a whole nother baseball in between that baseball and the strike zone, and it would still be a ball, if that makes sense. I was at the gym this morning. I saw the game delayed. I'm going to be honest, after that, I forgot about the game. But you know what? At the end of the day, hey, man, it's all good. First of all, JDWH, you got to get your workout in. Ultimately, the Giants did get it done, and we will recap the game. But, I mean, that could have been extremely costly by Stu Sherwater, whatever his name is. Really blew it right there. What a messed up game. I took a nap for a bit there. I laid down and threw the radio on. And I don't remember. And that right before the second delay, and I was listening to John Miller, and then they went to that second delay. Hicks should close. Hicks is an option. Hicks is an option. They need to change. They need to change. We need to change. I mean, I don't know what to convince the Giants. Doval is too unpredictable. Doval is just too unpredictable. He's too wild. He gets emotional. He's just not it. I mean, we're glad we got him, and I'm glad, he earned the closer role, and we've tried him out. But just because someone gets the closer role, what is it? Is this the Supreme Court bench here? It's just for life, a lifetime appointment? No. Dude, it's like, this ain't working. This ain't going to work in the playoffs. If the Giants still have playoff aspirations, no. Did anyone else see Harry Doyle when Doval gave up the day? Yeah, no. Yeah, as soon as he hit it. Oh, shit. As soon as he hit it. So, yeah, I mean, just unfortunate, man, but at least we got the W at the end. I like Doval. I'm not saying cut Doval. I'm not saying DFA Doval. I'm not saying trade Doval. Trade deadline's over. I'm not saying any of that. And for those who say, like, it's going to kill his confidence, like, I don't really buy that for MLB players. It's going to hurt your confidence. You're going to go home and be like, oh, man, they don't believe in me. Like, dude, you're a Major League Baseball player. You should have confidence. You know what you can do, and you know why you're being removed from the role. You've been terrible. You've been really, really iffy, and you've been giving up a lot of walks and a lot of hits, and we just can't rely on you in that role. That's all they got to tell him. And say, we like you. You're going to still play an important part of this team, a very important part. In fact, you know what I like Doval for? I like Doval strikeout situation, maybe 7th, 8th inning. You need a dude. You need a strikeout. Doval's your man. He can get some strikeouts. But to expect he's going to get through, get 3 outs. Of course, they have that 3-batter minimum now, so maybe that wouldn't work. How many O's do you have to have in your bank account? Yes, F your confidence, go do your job. I mean, yeah, these guys are multimillionaires. I ain't worried about your confidence. Just not worried about your confidence. I would, you can't have 2 closers. Robert Hicks need to take over the full-time closer. He's lost it. Yeah, I mean, if they want to do a closer by committee, they could try that. But, Doval just he blew the save. He blew the save. He got the W because of the weird, quirky rules of baseball, because he was in the game. He was the pitcher of record when the Giants took the lead, so he gets the W. I think they need to change that and just need to let's give the W to the pitcher who most deserves the W. That's how it should be, but that's not how it works. That's why the wins and loss stats are always a little bit iffy when you read those stats. But anyway, Giants did win it. We'll try to recap this game, and the recap won't take as long as the freaking game did. That game took a long mother freaking long time. The Giants did strike first in the top of the first when Encarnacion walked in a run, making it 1-0. But then Ruiz got a RBI hit in the bottom half of the first, stayed tied at 1, I believe, until it was the top of the third inning when Mike Yastrzemski hit a ground rule double, making it 2-1. Around this time, there was they had a rain delay. Game stopped for a while. We had a second rain delay while the game was tied. But bottom of the fifth inning, Washington Nationals scored and tied up the game at 2 apiece. And it stayed that way until the ninth after a second delay. Finally, the Giants come through, and it was Mark Canha, the newcomer. I'm trying to find the clip. Mark Canha comes through with the big hit.
I think he's got to come a little farther. A fair ball into right field. Straight down the line. Fitzgerald scores. Here comes Ramos. He'll score. And then the ball goes in the camera well on the throw. Conforto comes home. And the Giants get the hit they've been missing. It's Mark Canha, his 4th hit of the day.
We cannot do this. I believe after this win, the Giants hopefully learn some things about how to win games while still winning a game. So you can learn some lessons and still get a W, and that's key. But yeah, it turned out to be a pretty fun game. Mark Canha, look at all that water. Look at that rain coming down. Mark Canha comes through with the big hit. But was it the big hit? Well, it was an important hit. Obviously, took a 3-run lead, but then in the bottom of the ninth, Doval comes in, walks Ruiz right off the bat, walks Blankenhorn. He did get a force out. He got James Wood to ground out. He got Vargas to line out, and I was worried at that point, and I said in the chat, like, I'm taking him out right now. I don't care. A win is too important. He looks out of sorts. He's walked 2 guys. I'm bringing in Rogers, and if Rogers gives up the game, I'll get some criticism. So be it. But I'm always ready, if I'm a manager, to look into to go to the reporters and say, I just did not feel he was going to get it done, or I felt a better chance to win the game to go to Rogers. Did not go to Rogers, and Luis Garcia Jr. hit a home run to tie the baseball game. But luckily, in the 10th inning, even though it was close, Giants got the free runner home on the Wisely bunt. But then it almost looked like the Giants were going to blow this after Fitzgerald popped out. Ramos swung at ball 4, but Michael Conforto with a base hit, and the Giants took an 8-5 lead, added another run on the Chapman hit, and that's where we finish off. 9-5 the final today. Giants win. Yeah, he's no Rob Nin. And speaking of that, I'm working on my next video with Rob Nin in the thumbnail. And it's my top closers, the top closers in the history of the game. So that is going to be cool. Looking forward to that video. Nobody like Rob Nin. Rob Nin did make my top 25. Obviously, lots of former Giants. Well, a few former Giants, at least. Joe Nathan is on the list. Rob Nin is on the list. We haven't actually had a lot of all-time great closers. I wanted to put Rod Beck, but I don't think he's quite going to make top 25. But yeah, Camilo is no Rob Nin for sure. Sounds like a winner. I hope so. I got some angry comments on my last video. I get some emails. I got some crazy stuff coming in from my prison roster. I'm like, dude, what are you mad about? They're people like, I hope they sue you. I'm like, sue me? All I said was factual information. I even said everyone makes mistakes, and I'm not trying to go after anyone. This is just for fun. Just a roster of dudes who done some hard time. No big deal, just for fun. People got really mad at that. Like, well, I hope they sue you. I'm like, how are they going to sue me? I said Pete Rose didn't pay his taxes and he went to prison. You're going to sue me for that? That's a fact. Steve Bedrosian. I forgot about Steve Bedrosian. I don't think I had him on my list right now. I haven't officially made the list. I have written down some names, and I'm trying to I got Troy Percival. I got Eric Gagne. I got Papelbon. Obviously, all the Hall of Famers, the Trevor Hoffmans of the world, the Lee Smiths and the Bruce Sutter, Mariano Rivera, all of them, of course. Billy Wagner, who should be in. Those are Dodgers fans. Yeah. Some of them are like, I contacted Mr. Whoever. I contacted Mr. Rose and let him know of your video. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Yeah, man. Pete Rose is going to watch my video. Who cares what people think? Those are Dodgers fans. After today, I'm 10 years older. LOL. Dave Auburn, Giants fan. But yeah, big game today. Big hitting. Just a crazy game. Terrible calls, ejections, rain delays. We had it all today. The only thing we were missing was some relief pitcher coming to the plate and hitting a home run like happened if you missed it back in 1985. It was Rick Camp, a game that kept going. They kept tying. They went extra innings. The one team would score, the other team would score. One team would score 2 runs, the other team would score 2 runs. Then there'd be an ejection. There'd be an argument. Then there'd be a rain delay. Then they'd play. And then there'd be another rain delay. It was like 17th inning. And the Braves literally ran out of players. And they had to put Rick down by 1 run, 2 outs, bottom of the 18th inning. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And they said, Rick Camp, who's the worst hitter in the league, never hit a home run in his life, Little League, never. Just a terrible hitter. And this is what Rick Camp did.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. He goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Rick Camp. Rick Camp. I don't believe it. Remember what I just said. If he hits a home run, that certifies this game as the wackiest, wildest, most improbable game in history.
The most crazy game in history. And this game today had some vibes from that. It wasn't as crazy as that game, but it has some vibes. Giants need to sweep the Detroit Tigers and take 3 out of 4 of them Braves. I don't disagree. I think I've said it, and the Giants are doing it. So shout out so far. It's a long way to go. This stretch from now until that White Sox series, I think, is going to determine if the Giants have a legitimate chance at the postseason or not. And even if they do what I'm saying, they're not guaranteed in. But right now, after today's game, we have a 7-game homestand, 2 games against the A's, and then 3 more games at home. Basically, to be honest with you, this is pretty much the longest homestand of the season, because when we go to Oakland, where do you think the Giants players are sleeping? In their beds, at their house. How do you think they're going to get to the Coliseum? In their cars. So it's not like this is a homestand. Let's keep it all the way real. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 game homestand unofficially, because like I said, that A series is at home. It's in the Bay Area. It's not at Oracle, but it's in the Bay Area. So this 12-game series, I'm saying the Giants can lose no more than 3, preferably no more than 2. I'll give you 3 losses because I'll give you 2 losses against the Braves because that's a tough Braves team, and then maybe 1 more loss against the Tigers or the White Sox. Take your pick. But yeah, it really has to be. You got to win 9 out of 12. If you win 8 out of 12, I'm going to say, even though that's a winning record, that's not good enough. They put themselves in this position. And the reason it's not good enough is because of the series after that. Sure, you want to go sweep the Mariners and the Brewers. Okay, that'll make up for it. But does anyone think that's going to happen? We're going to go to Seattle and sweep the Mariners and then go to Milwaukee and sweep the Brewers? Anyone think that's going to happen? Anyone think we're going to dominate the Royals and the Orioles? Anyone think we're going to just dominate the Padres? I mean, come on. These are tough matchups. So September is going to be tough. So August has to be strong. That's the way I look at it. Farhan probably won't try to get him. Thank you so much, Jim Thorokill. Yeah, some people got really mad. It's like, dude, I'm not. I wasn't even talking about. Okay, there's a couple of the guys on my list who did some really sickening things I can't defend. But for most of them, I'm like, hey, everyone makes mistakes. I ain't tripping. We just count on that. Can't count. Yeah, we can't count on a big September. Giants win the game somehow, some way. And now it's off to San Francisco. Will we get another sweep this year? Giants need some sweeps. We need some sweeps. In fact, to do what I say they got to do, they would have to sweep at least one of these series because they have 4 series: Tigers, Braves, A's, White Sox. If we can't sweep the A's in a 2-game series, which we couldn't last time we tried because we just played them in a 2-game series at Oracle, but if we can't sweep them in a 2-game series, we got serious problems. And by the way, the White Sox, I'm not going to promise a sweep, but if you lose that series, we may just have to play taps right then and there. If you can't beat the White Sox, and if the Giants are significantly back in the wild card by that point, and I've said this before, I've been saying this for months, like if the Giants are significantly back in the wild card, 6-7 games, and then they can't beat the White Sox in a series, that's going to be a really bad sign. Because the White Sox lost 20-something. How many was it? 20 exact? Was it 20 or 21? I lost count of that shit. They did fire their manager. I was wondering when that was going to happen. And they hired Brady Sizemore as interim manager. Congratulations to Grady Sizemore. You guys remember him from his days in Cleveland. So Grady Sizemore is the new White Sox interim manager. Breaking news: Pedro Grifol has been fired. It's only a matter. They actually lost 21 straight games. 21 straight games. I actually root for the White Sox because I feel that bad for those players and those fans and my man John Brebbia. And now especially because they're playing the Cubs. So root hard for the White Sox in the next 2 days as they play the Cubs for a multitude of reasons. For one, but let's just root for the White Sox because they need some morale up in there. And for two, it'll keep the Cubs out of Cubs down in any potential wild card battles that could arise here as we get towards the end of the season. Right now, with this win, the Giants are 2.5 back. The Cubs have fallen to 4.5. So we want the Cubs just out of the picture. So actually, those are important games. Get the Cubs out of the picture. Let's get the Pirates out of the picture. And all we got to worry about is the Cardinals. And if we can hop those cards, we're right there on the brink. Giants are actually 2.5 out. We're not knocking on the door, but we are out in front of the house, about to walk up the little pathway to the door. So that's where the Giants are at right now. We don't play the Sox. What? What are you talking about, man? We don't play the Sox. August 19th, 21st says Sox. Corona accounting. Say what you want about Pete Rose. He's got thick skin. No, Pete Rose, I got a lot of respect for. He's a very flawed individual, as everyone is. Everyone has their problems. I definitely got issues. But as far as just determination, giving it 110%, there's no better example than Pete Rose. And I got his autograph. Easy access. Not very easy access, but Pete Rose. There he goes. Thank you, Pete, for signing that ball. But Pete Rose, I mean, of course, he charges for his autographs. But hey, if my autograph, if someone would pay me $50 or whatever for my autograph, I'd have to consider charging as well. But for now, it's free. If you see me, it's free. Not that I would even understand why anyone would want it, but if you do, it's free. I went to Maria Carrillo High School and Rincon Valley Middle with Andrew Vaughn. I feel bad for him and the White Sox. I'm definitely rooting for them unless they play against the Giants. Yeah, I'm rooting for the White Sox pretty much every game because either they're playing, like you said, unless they're playing the Giants, because essentially either they're playing an American League team, so it doesn't matter, or they're playing a National League team. And it can only help the Giants. Yeah, we ain't knocking on the door. Yeah, we're pulling into the driveway. We're pulling into the driveway. But as I was saying, no, Pete Rose plays 100%. And when he retired, and he retired like 46. And I think he just was like, he had to channel that energy somewhere else. And unfortunately, it went to gambling. He did become a manager, and but I think it went into gambling. And then he just didn't want to admit it for years on end, and I just didn't handle it very well. I think if he would have handled it better, if he would have from day one come out and say, look, I got a problem. I got a gambling problem. I've been betting on games for a few years. I've never bet against my team, but that's still no excuse, and it's breaking the rules of the game. I need to get help. I'm going to treatment. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to quit this, but I accept my ban for life, and I just need to get some help. End of story. I got a problem. Boom. I think he's in the Hall of Fame maybe today. Maybe not, but I think that would have been a good chance. Turning off KNBR. I don't want to hear another word from them today. Damn. What are they saying on KNBR? What could they be saying on KNBR, the sports leader? By the way, thank you to Corona Accounting Solutions and Randy Rulifson. Those super chats. You two have been, we got a lot of help. Salvation Army Rancho Cordova Corps, Jenny Vega, obviously all the members. I can mention so many names who have helped out the channel in so many different ways. But I just want to say, y'all two, Randy and Jason Corona, have really kept the streak going. A lot of streams that y'all kept the streak alive. So I do appreciate that. The streak does continue today as well. You need to sign and auction off the van for the Humm Baby Fund. I tried to sell when I got that van, it was ready for the junkyard. I didn't know I was going to restore it. I thought maybe I could use it for a little while, but it was so bad I couldn't get anywhere. It would just break down. So anyway, I did try to sell it before I started to restore it, but I couldn't get enough for it I just felt like, what's the point to sell it for a couple $100? Like, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, couple $100 is big money, but for a huge van, I was like, no. So I just started to work on it, and that's when I just restored it. And now it's working so good, and it's got heating, it's got AC, it works perfect. There's no problem with that at all. I can go on the freeway. I've driven it many miles. I've driven it, a long way, and it's done well. So now we sell that van, it's going to be a few $1,000, but I'm not actually ready to sell. Do you see Eldridge possibly getting promoted to Richmond before the end of the season and maybe the show in 1 to 2 seasons? Yes, I do think that he should go to Richmond before the end of the season, and I do think that he will make it to the big leagues next season, in my opinion. He'll make his debut next season. We got a birthday? All right, let's sing happy birthday to who? Dave? Recap the game. It took a little while to recap the game. Essentially, this game took a while, but it was pretty much tied until the 9th inning. Just a couple of runs each. A couple of key hits from Encarnacion, or actually it was a walk from Encarnacion, walked in a run, but Yastrzemski hit a big double, making it 2-1. The Nationals eventually tied it at 2, went to the 9th inning, and the Giants had that 3-run double down the line from Canna, drove in 2, and then a third came in on an error. They took a 3-run lead, but then Doval blows it in the bottom of the 9th, walks a couple dudes, gives up a 3-run bomb. The walks are to blame, not even the home run. The walks are to blame. Tied up the game, but the Giants in the 10th score 4. Wisely got the free runner in on a bunt, and then a big hit from Conforto and another one from Chappie And the Giants lead 9-5. They win it. Taylor Rogers finishes it out in the bottom of the 10th. There's your recap again. We got a gifty from Steven Prenzel. Steven Prenzel's been a supporter of this channel for a long time, so I do appreciate that. Who is the new member? I don't even know. Let's find out. The newest member is none other than Lethal. Thank you, Lethal, and welcome back to the Humm Baby membership. And so that's that. Let's sing happy birthday to Dave, Auburn Giants fan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dave. Happy birthday to you. And when the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. This season making at Nationals Park. Cheer for the band and light the spark. Fans of Giants baseball sing bye-bye, baby. If you wanna be in first place, bye-bye, baby. Listen to the broadcast on KNBR. See who we are. San Francisco Giants, and it's bye-bye, baby. San Francisco Giants, and it's bye-bye, baby. Oh, man. We played so hard, we broke another one, but it's a different one from last time. That's how we change our strings, one at a time. One breaks, you replace it until you got all new strings. That's how we roll. Probably shouldn't, but that's how we apparently roll. Gotta find the weed. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you. Happy birthday, Manuela Savala. Oh, your birthday was on the Blake Snell no-hitter day. Well, that's a birthday to have. Thank you, Stephen Prenzel. Thank you, everyone else. Have a pleasant evening. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're playing the Detroit Tigers. What's on deck? But before we do, we have to have a player of the game. Let's see, who's the player of the game today? Well, I don't know. You guys decide. This will be a quick poll because I forgot to put it in earlier. But we will do the poll. Player of the game today, as always. I want to know. Doval? No. We're not. He's not going to be on the list today. But Matt Canna will. So let's put in our votes. Thank you guys so much for the amazing, incredible, never stopping support. It is much appreciated. Here goes the poll. Throw in your votes. Even when it's obvious, the people have to decide. Even when it's obvious, we have to let the people decide. I can't decide. The people. I mean, I need a vote too. I'll go vote, I'll cast my vote. But the people must decide. Other than that, what's on deck? The Giants will be taking on the Detroit Tigers from the beautiful city of Detroit. Perfectly safe. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with Detroit. I've never been to Detroit, so I shouldn't talk crap. Because I heard that about St. Louis. Every time I go to St. Louis, everyone's really cool, and I feel completely safe. At least I feel that way. Doesn't mean I am. Robbie Ray is currently on the schedule to start tomorrow he will be facing a pitcher, a pretty solid pitcher for the Tigers known as TBD. TBD taking the mound for tomorrow. I think a young prospect. Bono, we'll see who pitches tomorrow. But Robbie Ray on the mound and a big game for the every game's a big game. Every game's a big game until the Giants can get 3 or 4, 5, 6 games above 500 and get in a playoff spot. Then it'll be a little easier to take some losses here and there. But yeah, when did we sign Matt Canna? We traded for Canna. I don't know if I got time for an immaculate grid, man. I mean, let's see what it looks like. That actually looks like a tough one. But actually, Randy Johnson is pretty obvious for this first one. Randy Johnson here. I could have put Randy Johnson here as well for the Astros and the Mariners. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. How the trade deadline? Tigers have 2 bullpen. Yeah, I figured there'd be bullpen games. But we'll find out how that goes. What else can we say? Why do you call him that? I don't know why he calls it. Why do you call him that? Did he get COVID? That's a good question. I was wondering the same thing. Did he like COVID? Some people liked COVID. Remember, they were just devastated when the pandemic ended. 100 runs plus season batting. Well, I guess Ichiro. Would. If it's not Ichiro, we got a big problem. Right field, at least 1 game. What about that guy? What was his name? Oh, what was his name? He struck out all the time. Mark Reynolds. You guys remember him? Mark Reynolds with the rarity score. Got to get the rarity score up in here. What about this? Kevin Bass? Can we say Kevin Bass? 100 plus runs season batting. 100 plus runs. That's a lot of freaking runs. My Mets fan called him that. I wonder why. Yeah, that's a terrible nickname. We'll go with let's just go with Altuve because surely he scored 100 runs. Oh, I messed up. I was thinking it was Astros. Okay, right field minimum. Oh, crap. I messed up, y'all. I thought it was 100 runs and Astros, but it's 100 runs in right field. Oh, I messed up that one. Hank Aaron. 30 steals for the Diamondbacks. 30 steals for the Astros. 100 plus runs and 30 steals. Well, I could have put Altuve for that, right? We got Canseco. We cannot do it, ladies and gents. Canseco for the. Wait, Canseco doesn't. Oh, for that one. Oh, I put Altuve already. 30 steals. Tim LaCastro. Did he steal? I don't know if he stole 30 though. Who's a big base stealer for the Diamondbacks? Any thoughts? Corbin Carroll? Did he steal 30 bases though? Did he? Is he that good? That's a good question. Humm baby Giants from a purple protector. We're going to roll out of here. We're going to check on the player of the game in a second. I do appreciate the amazing support, but we'll go with Corbin Carroll. You got it. You're right. Throw out some answers there. You said yes, he did. Corbin Carroll. I know he stole a ton of bases, but this day and age, it's like what used to be obvious. Like 30 isn't like 30 is more rare than it used to be, I guess is what I'm saying. Cam Maben. Cameron. Yes. All right. Well, I missed one because I misread it. Astros. Who's stolen 30 bases for the Astros? Can we just think of someone? 30 steals for the Astros. What was his name? Biggio? Did Biggio steal 30 bases? wonder if Biggio stole 30 bases. And yes, he did. So we'll put Biggio as the last one if I would have not blown it. Other than that, the Giants win 9-5. Bregman, yeah. Cruz, yes. Do you love the Raiders? I can't say I do. I haven't really watched the Raiders a whole lot. I mean, I grew up watching the 49ers in the Super Bowls, but I didn't watch like tons of football in the regular season. I watched some of the playoffs. I watched the Super Bowl. I would always root for the 49ers if they were in it. I also liked the Rams when they were in California. Then they moved to St. Louis, and I still kind of followed them after that. Then they moved back to Los Angeles, obviously. So I like the Rams. I like the Chiefs. I like the 49ers. It's my top 3 teams. Oh, Dave, do you love the Raiders? I don't know why I thought you were talking to me. You're right. My name isn't Dave. Man, I'm a dumbass. See ya! Player of the game, Matt Canna. Thank you for your votes. And another gifted membership has been sent out. And it was Corona Accounting Solutions. It goes to Chris, a gifty. Thank you guys so much. I see the emojis. Giants, Will Clark. I see the emojis. Thank you guys so much. Willie Mays, the legend Willie Mays. Rest in peace. And everyone else, thank you guys for being here. We'll be back tomorrow for another broadcast. Until then, I don't have any kind of cool, like, slogan to end the stream. So, I guess, like, bye.
Swing, and there's a high drive into deep right field. Going back, Tatis at the warning track, at the wall. Goodbye!
Deep to right field, ranging back Tatis, all the way to the wall.
Get into the gap. Is anybody there? No. Here it comes. And the throw. Not in time. And this one is over.
Now that's how you supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive.